possibility of speaking my mother tongue. It's much better for all of you. As you may see on the slide, you can read presents, because these are not my personal findings, but these are findings of the University of Milan in the framework of a project led by an operational group called Directly. The project included two parts. On the right-hand side, the component led by the Università Cattolica concerning winter and late pruning. The topic is considering cold weather, which was once a very rare event only in the valleys, whereas frost is becoming increasingly frequent in many areas. This is a very simple technique, a user-friendly technique with no additional cost. In the wintertime, you can leave 8 to 12 buds on the main twig, waiting for the true pruning. When the plant, the vine starts germinating, when there are the first true leaves, so you can gain some days. When the basal buds have not bursted yet, and in case of a frost, this would freeze the unnecessary leaves, whereas the buds will be saved to set the fruit later. As underlined before, the material, the document, the video representing these techniques may be found on the website of the Climed-Fruit project. Now I'd like to move to the second part of the presentation, the society irrigation with a variable rate, implemented by the University of Milan, led by Professor Brancadoro. This is a research work dating back to some years ago, mainly implemented by Davide Modena, that I would like to thank for providing me the material. So I will share with you his own presentation to try and cover the basic principles of this study. So we're dealing with irrigation. Dr. Bractadoro underlined before that viticulture needs irrigation. I live on the hillside, and this is quite troublesome to me because we do not have irrigation systems and we do not have either water resources. That is why water management is a big issue in my region, and we try to tackle this challenge in different ways. For instance, by resorting to irrigation systems saving water, or in other cases, we try and improve water retention, a point which has been touched by the previous speakers. So, in the framework of this study, the University of Milan faced mainly precision irrigation, designing a system taking into account the variability inside the vineyard. The variability in the vineyard is particularly significant in the hillside soils. We need optimizing water resources to try and increase or to stop the variation of production, reducing variability in the vineyard year after year. What about this solution, which was designed? This was a smart solution studied and applied to a valley vineyard. The name of the farm was Fergettina. The soil was an alluvial soil, a flat soil, quite uniform, despite a certain degree of variability inside the vineyard. we tried to adopt the already existing drip irrigation system by using a characterization of the vineyard variability. So, first of all, we performed an analysis through electric resistance in the soil. This was a not costly technique, allowing us to identify non-homogeneous areas. This was an experimental study involving the characterization of the areas, as you may see on the drawing. We could identify the main characteristics of 5 areas in the vineyard. So this was a preparatory work. And we also assess the characteristics of the different vine varieties used in the area. We could determine that there were areas where acidity was lower, the acidity of the vines was lower, water stress was particularly significant, and we could finally identify two areas in the vineyard with low vigor and high vigor. Then we started to design the system, the irrigation system. This system could not be managed separately with its 2 lines. So we decided to apply some clips. As the red drawing shows, this system made it possible to close the gap, and therefore, when the rate was equal, it was possible to apply different water amounts to the vineyard. In addition, we also used a decision support system, including various sensors to identify parameters like temperature, rainfall, and all these parameters were identified to activate irrigation only when necessary. What about the final results? Very quickly, what about the amount of water we applied over 2 years? During our trials, we could save 15% of water applied. So we applied 20 to 25% of water by saving about 20-25% compared to the farm system, where the variable rate was not applied. What about the yield per plant? We could reach more uniform findings. We reduced the differences compared to the past. That is why in the trial with a variable rate, the yield differences were lowered between low vigor and high vigor. And we may say that general results were more uniform. What about sugar content? Differences were reduced between high vigor and low vigor. Moreover, we are dealing with cultivars Fergettina and Franciacorta, and therefore having a higher titrable acidity level was very important for the final quality of the wine. Differences were lower, and we may say the average vigor was higher. I shared with you only some findings. That is why I encourage you to consult the website. I remain to your disposal for further information.